Joe Burrow gets sacked 5 times as the Bears find a way to beat the Bengals 20-9. We talk about it next. Cubbies are hot.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Please support the show by following on your preferred audio platform, and you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is presented by Sleeper. Swing for the fences on Sleeper Picks, and you can win up to 100 times your money. Download the Sleeper app and use promo code Locked On. You'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 30 states. Check out Sleeper today. Cubs win big over the Reds. It was a football score, a slow pitch softball score, whatever you want to call it. 20-9. Every starter recorded a hit for the Northsiders. 21 total hits, including 7 homers. And Sam, Cubs were all
like Mike.
Oh, geez, you don't even let me get through the intro anymore.
If I could be like Mike, I want to be. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't even need to host anymore. Cubs were all business in this ball game.
Yeah, I thought Mr. Talkman set the tone, and if he's not in the lineup on Wednesday night versus a left-hander, you can do a solo show, although that might not be what happens for real, but that's the open threat I'm going to make.
You made that threat a lot.
Yeah, it's just I just don't understand how anybody could watch this team and not see what he brings to the table. I get it. Bellinger, the biggest hit of the game tonight, making it 7-2. Dansby had a big day. Obviously, Mr. Candelario, welcome to the team with a 4-hit day. But for me, as a fan, it's the same way I felt about Zobrist. He's just that something with him. He makes them go.
Yeah.
You pointed
great
out
moxie.
You pointed out on Twitter, I mean, that third base with De La Cruz, like, they were fighting over the base, and De La Cruz giggled, and Talkman said, I'm not smiling at all, and then he hit a 3-run tank.
I mean, he didn't even open his mouth at him.
No, he sets the tone. I told you, this team needs
what De La Cruz did.
It was a great win. The Cubs are really good at blowing teams out. It seems like they do this like once a week. Awesome job. Dansby, Dansby hit his 14th and 15th home runs. 13 of those 15 home runs have come on a fastball. So please keep throwing him those. Obviously Jamer with the big day. And Steele struggled. I mean, this Reds, I got on Stroman yesterday, and rightfully so. I'm not going to take anything back, but in his defense, whether you're struggling or not, this is a tough team to face, man. They are relentless on offense. They punish contact pitchers, and we know the Cubs have 5 of them. So it's not the most ideal pitch to hitter matchup. Like it's not. It doesn't surprise me that the Reds struggle to score runs against the Brewers. The Brewers miss a lot of bats with Burns and Peralta and such. They're tough. They're tough to face, and you got to score a lot to beat them. And I don't think this is – I know JD said, watch, tomorrow's going to be 3-2. I don't see that. I think this is going to be, an offensive battle the rest of these last 2 games. I like the Cubs' chances. And, overall, great win, great day, great deadline overall. And, that's it for me.
A lot of news this week for the Cubs so far. We're only 2 days in, and the matchups moving forward are pretty light in terms of stuff and velo. It's just a lot of contact on both sides.
Teams. Yeah.
And so you might have weird scores the next 2 days, and I do like the Cubs in both of those games. You got to go game by game, and we'll get to that in a minute. But Talkman at the top there, setting the tone immediately. in the old phrase, a walk is as good as a hit. He walks twice, gets 2 hits, he homers. Horner, 3 hits, a homer. Candelario looked great in a Cubs uniform for the second time. Madrigal continues to impress me defensively. He literally proved 99% of the fan base wrong.
Sure.
He had a ton of doubters, and he has passed every test. And then, you have a lot of runs there late for good measure off a position player. But, the Steele thing is a little bit interesting just because earlier in the day, 4 weeks or 3 weeks later, they made that ERA correction.
Right.
And then he gives up 4 earned in this game on 9 hits. So right now it's at 2.65.
Yeah, he's 12-3 too. I know records don't matter to a lot of people, but 12-3 with a 2.65 sure sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I wonder where he stands in terms of the Cy Young voting.
Yeah, I think a lot of, and I'm answering this from just the betting purposes. I don't know the actual thing. I think Strider's still the overwhelming favorite, even though his ERA's up there because everybody loves the strikeouts and the metrics, and that's where things are changing.
Right.
But I think he's firmly in the mix. I mean, I think he's firmly in the mix. I mean, if he ends the season 16, 17, and 4 with an ERA under 3, I mean, he's going to get votes, and rightfully so. I can't wait. I can't wait to watch him pitch against Atlanta on Sunday.
Yes.
Because I just don't think this is a great matchup for Steele. The Reds pound lefties. Most of these Braves hitters haven't seen him before. And I can't wait to see him in that matchup.
I will be at that game as well, likely with my dad.
Wow.
I've had a great summer.
No, you've had a great summer. And while you're at those games, I'll just, if anyone wants to join me, let me know because I'm going to be just left out here on an island like Even Stevens, the movie.
Well, I stopped inviting you because you didn't show interest.
It's nothing to do with interest. I'm not on a break, dude.
You had all those conditions to go to a game. They had to win.
Well, now they're winning.
Yeah.
But I can't just on the whim go tomorrow night. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
Sunday, I would possibly have some interest, but you got the tickets already.
I'm a little bit questioning the Smiley start Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
just because I thought the 2 times they've opened for him, it went fine.
Yeah.
So Wisniewski pitched Tuesday. His pitch count was okay, but he's probably has the gym shoes on Wednesday.
I was really curious as to why they used him, and I'll tell you my theory.
I haven't heard a response from them.
So my theory is why they stretched Wisniewski out is I think he's going to start Saturday for Stroman.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a possibility. I think that's in play.
Okay, yeah. I was going to tease that in the next segment. Yeah. I don't think he's going to take that start either.
Yeah.
And yeah, Wisniewski would be a candidate already on the roster.
And I really hope they
die. Okay,
I really hope they give a reason for the injury because, contract year, struggling and going up against the best team in the league, it just seems awful convenient to miss that start. I'm not a huge fan of that. But anyway, that would be my guess. It'll be very interesting to see what they do Wednesday. I agree. It sounds like it's just going to be Smiley from the jump, right? Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah, they actually, I didn't even realize this. They announced that on Sunday.
And then Assad was burned a lot on Monday. So he's your long righty, and then Wisniewski. So there really isn't.
Yeah, I wonder if those guys are even available.
Well, Wisniewski's definitely not.
Yeah. I don't think Assad would be. I think he was over 40.
Yeah, no.
Pitches.
So it'll be really interesting to see if there's trouble early, where do they go? Because the Reds just let Lively eat it tonight.
That was wild.
They kind of.
I guess you have to.
Yeah, they're they want to set up their good relievers for if the Cubs rough up one of these next 2 starters. So it'll be interesting to see where the Cubs go.
Well, and I actually think the last time
Fulmer will pitch
that we were together for a game,
yeah,
they faced Williamson. and it was so frustrating. So now they're going to get some revenge there.
Well, we were together
hopefully.
on the 4th. Oh, well, you came after. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. But
yeah,
they haven't done as well against lefties recently.
No, they haven't. And we'll transition into why with talking about the $100 million right fielder. So
huge news on Tuesday as the Cubs make a roster move and also bench a starter in one matchup, and we will reveal what that is and what the fallout is coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app focused on bringing people together through sports and gaming. Sleeper has become the fastest organically growing fantasy platform in the world with over 5 million active users in 2022 alone. At Sleeper, it's not just about sports, it's about building personal connections and lasting memories. Sleeper is now offering up to 100 times payout for up to 8-pick contests. Choose as many as 8 players that you like and pick more or less on your favorite baseball stats like homers, strikeouts, hits, and more. Use promo code LOCKEDON and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 30 states. Check out Sleeper today. The Cubs play the Reds at 7:05 p.m. Central Wednesday, and you can listen to every pitch with the Cubs hometown broadcast on Sirius XM. On the SXM app, search Cubs or tune in to channel 844 and catch the Cubs all season long on Sirius XM. Cubs manager David Ross announced before Tuesday's game that Jeimer Candelario is pretty much going to be full-time at first base. That is a little bit of a twist in my mind for sure.
yes,
That news paired with the, by extension, Madrigal full-time at third and Morel unplayable in the field,
right.
has forced Trey Mancini out. He was designated for assignment on Tuesday, and make no mistake about it, Seiya Suzuki was benched, at least for now, against righties. Sam, what do you think about this? This is big news.
I think it answers the question I had on yesterday's show when I said, "Hey, are you all in, or are you in on the outside of the organization, but are you, internally still giving guys a shot that shouldn't be playing?" And the answer is that he's all in. Before I get to Suzuki, I just want to say this about Mancini. Look, I was pretty hard on him. I think I was probably first, and I'm not in a good way. Just I think I was the first one that really was like, I don't want this guy playing. Back in April, and I think that kind of led me to be very hard on him.
Yes,
and sometimes people, when you do a show like this, you come across very harsh on somebody when you're just trying to do your job to make your point across. And we all know, our listeners know, I have a tendency to try and drive my point because I get aggravated when things don't change, and it doesn't change the fact that I have a lot of respect for Mancini, and he dealt with just health things in his life that most people would be lucky to survive, let alone play Major League Baseball again. So he's a tremendous guy with a lot of character, and it just, like Jed said on the broadcast on Tuesday night, it just didn't work out. And this is a business, a very important competitive business, and when you're not producing. Personally, with all due respect to Trey, again, I think this move should have been made a long time ago. My guess is I think the Cubs are trying to just see if they could get him to build some value.
Yeah, it's a good theory.
And just figure out a way, hey, if he just has a good couple of weeks against lefties, maybe we could flip him. We'll take half the salary and that's it. And that's where this Cubs season, if it doesn't end up where we want it to end up, Matt, will be looked at, right? Hosmer, Mancini. Right. In my opinion, right now, Mike Tauchman's the second best offensive player on this team. People will laugh at that, but that's my opinion. And he didn't break with the club, and Luis Torrens did, and Edwin Rios did. And those are things that, and I don't want to go there now, but if they come up a couple games short, that's where it's going to go. And wow. I think the correction will be made in 24 to make sure your best players are playing at all times. As far as Suzuki goes. We were talking. I said last night I wanted him hitting ninth in the lineup. Not even playing him, even better.
Even that's better.
True. Even better. And by the way, this Williamson lineup tomorrow, who's a left-hander, will be very fascinating because, look, I get it. Suzuki's going to play, right? Belly's going to play. Candelario's going to play first. Madrigal's going to play third. It's going to, and Gomes is going to catch. It's going to come down to 3 names for the DH, right?
Yes.
Morel, who hasn't hit left-handers, Amaya, or Tauchman. And
it really could include Wisdom.
And it should be Tauchman.
It should be.
Tauchman, please just leave him in the lineup.
At least right now.
And even if he doesn't hit, it's fun. I don't like only having one true lefty in there.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. But there's also, we're not just painting a picture. I mean, there's strong evidence that Morel shouldn't DH against lefties.
Right.
He's hitting under 200.
No,
so that's a whole nother point. So again, what's this Ivy computer system showing that I can't see on Baseball Ref?
Yeah.
I get it, averages and everything, but Morel, I think, has played himself out of that spot against lefties.
And with the addition of Candelario, like, where is Amaya's value though? Like if he doesn't start on Wednesday night, why just get him at bats? He's shown enough already. Because
there's a log jam now in a way.
Yeah, I mean, Gomes is just run with this job. You can't. I mean, Gomes might hit in the middle of the order on Wednesday night. And
I think he could.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been unbelievable. I mean, when you're talking about MVPs of this team right now, it's Steele, it's Bellinger, and then you get into Gomes and you get into Tauchman and Swanson.
I think maybe you could see rotational opportunities, maybe even starting Wednesday as an off-day chance for Happ, even though he has improved recently hitting righty. But I think that's an option to get another positional guy in there too, where Tauchman could play left, Morel or Amaya at DH.
Yeah, I agree. But Ross seems to just love Happ. He's still hitting him third.
And Suzuki will probably hit second.
No way. No shot.
Yeah, I think he does.
If he hits 2 after they benched him against righties.
Well, should we put something put something on it, or are you going to threaten to leave the show again?
If he hits second tomorrow.
Okay. I think you still owe me a Mountain Dew, by the way, from an Edwin Rios.
I'm not going to perpetuate your sugar intake. So find a different gift.
I had Dunkin' today.
So. I'll think of something. I on the spot, I'm struggling. My Jerry Seinfeld improv skills.
Well, it's just that. What
Candelario, Swanson, Horner, Tauchman, Happ, Gomes, Morel, they're all better hitters.
Let's put a Tauchman jersey up for it.
I'd like to see Ross hitting second.
Let's do a Tauchman jersey bet.
I've spent enough money on these giveaways.
Okay.
I gotta do another one soon because I used Suzuki the other day. It's a miracle when he hits one out of the infield. Maybe I'll do Suzuki again tomorrow.
All right, so I think the answer is Tauchman at DH or left.
I hope so.
Lefties and,
I don't think it's going to happen. I don't, but I hope so.
Also, I will say I'd like to defend Trey Mancini on his way out and also acknowledging what you did, Sam, in terms of being a little bit of a prisoner of a daily podcast, but also defending Mancini.
Yeah.
Why was he playing right field? That was awful. That was an awful decision by Jed Hoyer.
Well, also,
and David Ross.
Also, I think after about mid-May, anytime he was even in the lineup, I was past being angry at him and angry at those putting them in that position.
Right.
I mean, it was just so obvious when you know what I mean. Like it's like, am I going to be mad at you if you go up there and can't hit, or am I going to be mad at the guy that says Matt Cozy's our best option right now?
Right. That's a good way to put it.
You know, it just did. And I get it. He made a lot of money, but so what? You know, we watched how many years we have to watch Jason Hayward. I don't, the fans don't care.
Brought that up many times.
Hey, let me just make one quick story before we move on to Cade with Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah, that's right.
in 2000, and it happened a lot earlier than this, but in 2015, Starlin Castro, who is, I think it's fair to say, a much more prominent and established player than Suzuki is right now, was flat out benched in early July of 2015. And I remember it because Starlin was my favorite player, and I was really upset, but it was warranted. Addison Russell was on the come up. You had Javi, and it was just like, Castro wasn't fielding well. He wasn't hitting well, and this team was serious, right? Yes. And I'll remember the report. I don't forget who tweeted it, but it was like, this is not just a day off for Starlin Castro. That was the quote from Madden. There was no punches pulled. It wasn't a lefty-righty thing. He was just flat out benched. Wow. And instead of pouting about it or whining about it, because, I think he was the guy along with Rizzo that everyone really felt happy that he was finally on a winning team. He came back, and from August 1st through the end of the regular season was as good of a hitter as anybody on that loaded 15. That 15 Cubs team offensively was just as good as the 16 team. They were loaded because you had Schwarber, and he was one of the best hitters on the team. He ended up having a huge home run against the Cardinals in the NLDS and was a major contributor. So that's the roadmap for Seiya Suzuki, it's different because he's going to play versus lefties, but, don't pout. And he looked like he had pretty good body language today in the dugout.
Yeah.
Come back and say, hey, I'm going to help this team.
No, I love that story, and I like what you're dishing out. And then just one other preview for Wednesday in terms of roster, Sam, would be, was Tuesday Anthony K's last day as a Cub.
Yeah,
and I think there's a chance that due to rotation or bullpen shuffle, especially if Wisniewski starts this weekend, Stroman goes to the IL as soon as Wednesday.
Yeah, look for that.
Look out for that, fam.
Look for that, and then you got Smiley Tyone against Cincy. Tyone's one of the hotter pitchers in the game, and then poor Kyle, man, this guy's pitching his tail off, and he's drawn all the tough assignments, and he's got to face the Braves on a Friday afternoon at Wrigley.
Yeah,
boy, I hope he locates.
That could be an awesome 120 outing for him, though.
No, Acuna might hit a ball on Kenmore. He might knock over a bicycle rider. So
a ball hawk.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. All right. Well, coming up next. All right. Well, Suzuki, we'll look out for him batting or not batting second.
Oh, if he hits second, I might just roll over.
Coming up.
I might just roll over.
Coming up next, another top prospect promoted by the Cubs.
Oh.
Stay tuned. We're back here on Locked On Cubs. Thanks for making us your first listen. One day after Pete Crow Armstrong was promoted from AA to AAA, Cade Horton, the Cubs' top pitching prospect, was promoted from High A to AA. Horton will land with the AA Tennessee Smokies this week, and he has made a swift rise through the system after being a first-round pick out of Oklahoma in 2022. So excited for more ascensions of top players in this system.
Cade Horton, just my favorite pitcher in this organization by a mile. Why? Simple.
Wow.
When he pitches the ball, it's really hard to make contact with it. And we don't have a lot of guys like that. Between High A and between A and High A, this season he has pitched 61 innings, and he has struck out 86 men.
It's a lot.
With a 3.23 ERA, a whip under 1, just the exact type of guy this team's missing. And look, if the Cubs are, I don't know, within a game or two in September, and they need a guy to come in and throw an inning or two out of the bullpen.
Wait a second.
I'm just saying, I don't think it would hurt his development that much.
David Price in 08 with the Rays.
Yeah, and even Ben Brown could do something like that. You got to remember, these guys are starting right now. Get them in a one-inning situation. You'll see triple digit.
Yeah, people were, harassing Jed Hoyer today because he didn't get a lefty reliever one day after.
Which I was surprised about, by the way.
Yeah, but he got the best rental bat. He said,
"No, I know. I just wonder. I just wonder why."
but maybe we see Brown or Wicks or Horton in September and October. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm going off what I see. And what I see is, some bad baseball being played by, some guys that we've talked, anyways.
No, sorry, here, can I paint a crystal ball to you in a little bit of a hypothesis form?
Sure. We're going back to science here.
If the Cubs are playing in October, then you won't see Anthony Kay. Do you know what I mean? So there will be some spots. Rucker, I'm not sure about his,
remember Rucker, I meant to text you back about that. He got sent down for Wisniewski.
Oh. So wait, can you just tell me who's in the bullpen right now? So besides for
let me just
besides for Adbert, Leiter Jr., Merriweather.
Well, besides, you're gonna name everybody.
No, Fulmer. I've named 4 guys.
Okay, that's half the bullpen.
Assad, Wisniewski. Who am I missing? Okay, that's 7, I guess. That's probably it, right?
And then Palencia.
Oh, Palencia, of course. That's 8. Okay, yeah, that really could use another lefty. So
Brandon Hughes played catch Monday.
Oh, well, he's gonna be playing catch until next March.
Shout out to the everydayers.
Hopefully he doesn't. Yeah, boy, was he.
Oh,
is Keegan Thompson found it? I read some stuff that he might be finding again.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if he found it. What do you mean? What did you find?
Like, I just heard that he came back and was
find his
better.
baseball glove.
No, I meant like, can he pitch at this level?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well,
shout out to the everydayers.
Maybe Smiley will move to the pen. There's your lefty.
Could become an everydayer. Yeah, by checking us out each and every weekday.
He doesn't even get out lefty.
What about Wisniewski in like the 6th or 7th in October? He would be great.
Well, let's October, if they're playing baseball around like Columbus Day, that'd be pretty cool. Sorry, they don't call it that anymore. I shouldn't say that.
For Locked On Cubs on YouTube, and smash the like button for the algorithm.
Indigenous People Day.
We're really close to 5,000 subscribers.
No, we're going to be at 5,000 when Atlanta comes to town. That's all right.
We got to go. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast and streaming on Sirius.
Braves might score 25 runs.
I do believe this is my last episode of the week. I am going to the Cubs game Wednesday.
That's news to me, folks. Good luck getting the show. I don't know who. I mean, what is this?
Sam will be solo Thursday.
What is this, NSYNC, and I'm Justin Timberlake?
And then we're going to do a crossover with Locked On Reds for Friday. Hopefully the Cubs will have won 3 out of 4, and Sam could have some fun with Jeff, our colleague over there. He's Sam Holber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.